There are many people who do career counseling, even if they are from psychology background, they're not from psychology background. They just get into this profession, learn a little bit, and start applying it to students. That should not be allowed.
पर ये पोटेंशियल समझ में कैसे आता है?
They should not come from a very orthodox background where they want the child to get into traditional careers only.
So what would you say about people who are already in a profession?
There is no retirement, I feel, for career. You can always continue till the time you should continue and be in that profession or career.
Hello everyone and welcome to my podcast Judge Me Not. As you all know, it's a mental health podcast and today we have a very special guest with us, Tejal Dave. Honestly, I was very nervous before taking her on because when I read her entire profile and read through her work, she has over 23 years of experience. She's a distinguished RCI registered psychologist. She's a trainer, she's a career counselor, she has set up remedial education setups in multiple academic institutions, educational institutions. She has set up counseling structures. She also consults for children who work on reality TVs. I mean, name it and she's done it all in the field of psychology. She's also a psychotherapist. And today we are going to have a very interesting and relevant conversation with her. Mostly about a lot of things that you as students, people who are already working in a job, and as parents have questions about, which is career. So let's first talk to Tejal Dave about how career impacts mental health. What do you think?
Thank you for having me here. And I'm honored to be a part of your podcast show that's Judge Me Not. Mental health is extremely important. We all know that. And career is one of the most important decisions of our life. I think personally, I feel there are two important decisions we take in our life. That's career and marriage.
True.
Right? And we live in India, so we can't change both so easily. And that's why I think career decision has to be taken with a lot of understanding, precision, and the most important thing, after a lot of consideration into a lot of factors. So you need to take career guidance to get into a career so that you are more successful and more satisfied in whatever profession you are in.
That is very important क्योंकि हम दिन के 8 से 10 घंटे we are at work and naturally if you are frustrated at work, stressed out, तो घर पे भी वही निकलेगा basically. But let me ask you, career का मतलब क्या है? What is the difference between career, job, profession?
Excellent. बेसिकली करियर एक आपका एक ऐसा एजुकेशनल जो आप बोलते हो आपका क्वालिफिकेशन फॉर गेटिंग इनटू अ जॉब, मतलब आप जो पढ़ते हैं उसी फील्ड में आप जॉब करते हैं. तो जॉब इज़ जो आपको एवेन्यूज़ मिलते हैं आफ्टर गेटिंग इनटू अ करियर, दैट्स थिंग. एंड आई फील करियर इज़ योर लाइफ स्टाइल. आप जिस प्रोफेशन में जाते हैं और जैसा आप जॉब करते हैं वैसे आपकी एक लाइफस्टाइल हो जाती है जो आपके पर्सनल लाइफ, सोशल लाइफ, फाइनेंशियल लाइफ एंड इवन इमोशनल लाइफ को इम्पैक्ट करती है. सो इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट दैट आप करियर ऐसा चूज़ करें जो इन सब बेसिस को आप कंसिडर करें व्हेन यू आर डिसाइडिंग अ करियर. सो दैट्स व्हाट आई फील.
सो बेसिकली करियर एक पाथ है.
ज़रिया है,
एक ज़रिया है.
एक ज़रिया है ज़िंदगी को जीने का. Right? It's not, I would not say it's a destination, it's basically a journey. आप एक करियर जब चूज़ करते हैं तो एक जर्नी आपकी चलती है और ये जर्नी में काफ़ी कुछ आपको मिलता है. You grow, you learn a lot of things, you meet a lot of people and you get, success or failure, whatever, based on how hard work you've done, how much work you've done towards your career. I think that's what I feel is it.
So, at what age should a career path be decided? What is the right time for people to decide that? How young is too young and how old is too old for something like that?
So I think it's very important for students to get into career guidance or career decision making, because that's the starting point.
Right.
And I would say, looking at the schools in Mumbai, which we have ICSC and IB board, where the students do get an opportunity to even select subjects. So that happens somewhere in 8th, 9th standard. So I think it starts from there. You can choose the subjects which you are really good at, you have the aptitude for, you have the interest for.
Right.
But 10th and 12th, you should and it's mandatory, I would say, to go for career counseling. Because otherwise, you're taking a decision based on very, very different factors. It can be just percentage. Unfortunately, our Indian education system is designed in a way where if you score well, you are put into a category of careers.
Right.
If you don't score well, you're put into a certain category of careers. So some kids do take a decision only based on percentage. Some students take a decision based on what their parents tell them.
Right.
So it's a parent's aspiration.
Right.
Parent wanted to become something, couldn't become. So now the child will kind of pursue it. So they just get into the career which parents tell them. Sometimes it's just the peer pressure. My friend is going to NM, my friend is going to Sophia, my friend is going to Giant, so I want to go there. They really don't know what career they are or what subjects they are taking or which stream they are taking. So I think these factors should not be the factors to decide career. Career decision should be based on your potential. What is my aptitude? What is my capabilities? What is my potential? What is my interest? And most important, what's my personality? I state this in many talks where I mention personality also being the important factor.
Right.
But people think it's not, but I insist because I'll just give you an example. The career of journalism. Journalism would require a person to be a little outgoing,
Right.
extrovert.
Right.
You need to meet people. You can't shy away from people, right? But if you are not that kind of person, you don't like to mix around, you can't talk to people, you can't address audience, then it's difficult to remain in that career. So personality profile also needs to be checked. When you have all these parameters checked, there is that self-awareness comes in, and then the career decision becomes very easy for a student. That's what I feel.
But ये potential समझ में कैसे आता है? Because let's say if I score very good in history in my schooling, does that mean I have a potential to be an archaeologist?
Right.
So is there such a correlation, or how
Yes.
do you check a potential?
Yes. So, again, I'm coming to education system. Our education system makes a child study a subject. The child has to give an exam. There are times when the child is not completely prepared. There are times when the child is not well. There are times when the child is scared and nervous. This child may not score that well. Now, that doesn't mean the child doesn't have potential for that subject, right? But when we do career guidance, we do aptitude test. Now, aptitude test is a standardized tool used to check the potential of the child, where the child is given this test at, when the child is relaxed. There is some kind of talking that's already happened with the child. So the child is mentally prepared to give this test. And most important, it's given, at certain intervals, kind of half an hour test is given. The child is given a break and then the child gives the other test. So here the child's aptitude is measured in more standardized way. So even if I kind of not well or something, then it will not be reflected so much in the standardized test, because I'll get the scores which will make me realize the child has the potential, but maybe the child has not scored that much high in the assessment which was taken.
Right.
So I think it's important to go for some kind of standardized testing rather than depending on the percentage, which can be,
Right.
high or low due to any of the factors.
Correct. But there are a lot of students who do not have accessibility to these tests, or maybe readiness भी नहीं होता है. A lot of parents are in fact even scared that what if the counselor tells us a career path which we are not today prepared, to send our child to. What if the counselor says your child should become a DJ? Right? और वो डर जाते हैं. तो शायद कुछ बच्चों को वो एक्सेसिबिलिटी नहीं है, तो उनको क्या पैरामीटर्स यूज़ करनी चाहिए एज जस्ट अ गाइडिंग लाइट? मे बी दे कैन टेक एन एप्टीट्यूड टेस्ट लेटर ऑन इन लाइफ, but during that phase, what are the parameters they should be looking at as students?
So, as I said, there are three important factors: aptitude, interest, and personality.
Right.
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 Now, interest can definitely be understood, okay, by the way you like certain subjects, the way you like certain careers. So, your interest can be automatically gauged.
Right. Right.
Personality also, of course, people will tell you what kind of person you are. You can reflect and find out what are your strengths, what are your limitations, what do you like to do, what you don't like to do, and analyze yourself and make a profile for yourself that what kind of person are you, right? For aptitude, as you mentioned about percentage, of course, we cannot consider one standard percentage. We can actually go through at least 3 to 4 standards report cards and try to understand the profile of the child. Which subjects the child is consistently doing well.
Yeah.
Which subjects the child is consistently not able to score.
Right.
Right? If the child is consistently not able to score well, it's understood that the child needs to put in probably extra efforts, or this is not the child's area or the potential area. So keeping these factors in mind, of course, without going for standardized assessment, this can be done. But I feel the most important thing as a student and as a parent one needs to do is exploring as many options as we can. Now, you know, there's a research which is done on Indian students, and which states that a student, if asked about the careers, say at 10th standard, would know at least only 7 to 8 careers. Now, that's very less. Right?
Yeah.
We have around probably 500 careers
Yeah.
in India.
I'm sure. Yes.
So then it's important for a child to know the career options first. Then understanding which careers I can pursue. And then the next steps would come in, that can go for standardized testing, or at least talking to a professional or talking to somebody senior, the experienced person who can guide you to understand, okay, these are your potential, this is your interest, this is the way you are, but these are the career options you can explore. And then the journey begins.
So a little bit of mentoring is necessary.
Mentoring.
Because I remember when we used to do career counseling for students, ऐसे parents बैठे हैं, बीच में बच्चा बैठा है, and parents are telling us that इसको पक्का computer engineer बनना चाहिए. And you know, we used to ask, why do you think? Why do you think that? Because that's not at all what the profile has come out to be. And the parents say, ये games बहुत अच्छे खेलता है, computer चलाना जानता है, तो इसको engineer बनना चाहिए. And then when you ask the child कि engineering का मतलब क्या है? What do you know what computer engineers do? Do you have an idea? Just to gauge कि उसको कितना information है, तो कई सारे बच्चों को पता ही नहीं है. Even what scientists do, for example, वो सिर्फ लैब में बैठ के टेस्ट ट्यूब्स के साथ खेलते रहते हैं दिन भर. तो I understand that somewhere that mentoring is necessary. That what does the actual job entail? आपका daily life कैसे होता है?
So awareness about the careers, and also, you know, meeting people who are in the profession.
Right.
That's also a wonderful way to understand a career.
Right.
You spend a day with a CA, you'll exactly know what a CA does. I have a lot of myths about what the role of a CA is, but when I spend a day, I understand what actually a CA does. I stay with the director, I understand what's the work of a director. I stay with a psychologist, I understand what a psychologist does. So even that kind of initiative can be taken. We have so many friends and relatives in our life. एक दिन एक person के साथ पूरा बिताएंगे, तो of course we'll get to understand the career they are in.
Right.
And then we can, you know, think back and, you know, say that, do I want to get into this career?
Right.
Does this excite me? बिकॉज हम जो पढ़ेंगे, जैसा मैंने पहले ही स्टार्ट किया, जो हम पढ़ेंगे पूरा ज़िंदगी भर हम उसी करियर में रहेंगे. वी आर नॉट अ कंट्री वेयर, यू नो, वी आर, यू नो, दैट काइंड ऑफ प्रिविलेज टू स्विच करियर्स.
Not easy.
Right? Not easy.
Yeah.
We get into career after 10 years, we think nahi, boring hai. Again studying, again starting. It's a little difficult. I'm not saying it's impossible,
Yeah.
but a little difficult. So it's better कि जो भी हम करें sensibly, सोच समझ के करें. Life can take you anywhere. ऐसा एक स्टेज आ सकता है जहाँ आपको शायद चेंज करना पड़े करियर बिकॉज ऑफ सर्टन रीजन, या प्रोफेशन स्विच करना पड़े. That's a different story. But choosing a career wisely at this stage of your life is important. एंड स्टूडेंट्स बिकॉज दे आर नॉट दैट मेच्योर, अभी फिर भी बच्चे हैं, उनको गाइडेंस, mentoring, that kind of expert advice चाहिए. And parents, because parents है, they are little biased, उनके understanding of the child becomes a little different. A neutral perspective, a neutral person coming in their life and guiding all of them can be extremely important.
Yeah. And also bringing everyone on the same page. Because mother wants the child to do something else, father wants it, grandparents want the child to do something totally different.
Yeah, yeah.
So ऐसी situations में हम priority किसको देते हैं? क्योंकि sometimes, like for example, parents who are in the same profession for years, like you see a lot of times doctors, usually बच्चे भी उनके around, they also then want their doctors, lawyers, architects, etc. etc. So if the parents, because the parents know the reality of the industry, right? So if they feel that, okay, fine, my child is interested, but इस industry में इतना success नहीं है, and then they are guiding the child to steer away or steer towards a certain kind of an industry, तो उनका experience account में लेना चाहिए, नहीं लेना चाहिए, या फिर कितना लेना चाहिए? What should?
See, that's I'm saying best because we are in an urban city. I'm talking about Mumbai and the urban cities. Of course, it's not available all over India.
Right.
But जहाँ भी available है, professional guidance लेना is extremely important. A psychologist or a career counselor has to play a very important role here. Parents' experience has to be considered. Of course, they are parents. They know their child the best.
Right.
जितना एक पेरेंट अपने बच्चे को समझता है ऑफ कोर्स और कोई नहीं समझता है, लेकिन एट द सेम टाइम पेरेंट्स के भी दिमाग में ये एवेन्यूज़ जो डिफरेंट है वो शायद अभी नहीं है. बिकॉज इफ़ यू लुक एट द करंट ट्रेंड, देयर आर सो मेनी ऑफ बीट अपकमिंग करियर्स जो शायद पेरेंट्स को भी नहीं पता है. उनको लगता है कि इंजीनियरिंग, मेडिसिन, CA, फाइनेंस, दीज आर द ओनली करियर्स. तो उनको भी अवेयरनेस है या नहीं, ये पहले जानना बहुत ज़रूरी है. क्या उनको ऐसा प्लेटफॉर्म दिया जाए जहाँ वो रिसर्च बेस्ड उनको मटेरियल प्रोवाइड किया जाए, या उनको वेबसाइट्स या लिंक्स दी जाए जहाँ वो गो थ्रू करे एंड देन दे टेक अ कॉल. तो पेरेंट्स का भी इनपुट बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, बट द पेरेंट्स ऑल्सो शुड बी अवेयर. They should not come from a very orthodox background where they want the child to get into traditional careers only.
Yeah.
कई बार ऐसा होता है that they think that ये नया करियर ये चलेगा कि नहीं चलेगा, मेरा बच्चा इसमें जाएगा तो आगे बढ़ेगा कि नहीं बढ़ेगा. But there is no guarantee, right? End of the day, I feel we get successful only if we are confident in what we're doing, if we are passionate about what we're doing, and at the same time, if we have good amount of expertise. अगर ये combinations हम किसी भी करियर में रखें, and of course there are a lot of other factors list, hard work, dedication, वो तो शायद I think is required in all the careers. That kind of determination, अगर ये factors आपके साथ हैं तो आप किसी भी करियर में सक्सेसफुल हो सकते हैं. लेकिन एंड ऑफ द डे वो करियर मुझे पसंद है कि नहीं, ये करियर में मेरा पोटेंशियल है कि नहीं, वो बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट है जानना. बिकॉज अगर मैंने ऐसा करियर चूज़ कर लिया जो फोर्स्ड है मुझ पे, शायद मैं 5 साल, 7 साल या 10 साल के बाद I'll get completely frustrated and I will say that no, I want to change. I cannot stay in that. Let's not get our child to that kind of stage where they regret as to what they've studied and what they are in. Let's include kids in this process.
Right.
Parents, students, then sometimes you can take input from teachers, sometimes you can take input from siblings, and sit together and make a beautiful a plan, a career plan for the child. जैसा हम, it's like a guidelines, just like road map, what we call it as career road map for the child can be designed with keeping all these factors in mind, I feel.
I think that's very interesting कि teachers का भी input लेना ज़रूरी है, क्योंकि उनके लिए और भी बच्चे हैं comparison के लिए, and they are more objective.
Sometimes we get to see that in PTMs. Parents think आप मेरे बच्चे को ज़्यादा बताते हो, so parents state that because parents are a little biased, as we say, they can't give that neutral perspective. But teachers are very, very sharp and they understand the child so well. They've seen the journey of the child, so they sometimes give a very neutral, unbiased opinion, which is very, very important at this stage of their life when they're deciding their careers?
So there are situations जहाँ पे let's say a career is becoming popular. To be very honest, when I studied psychology, nobody, and when you studied तो और भी किसी को पता नहीं था कि ये है क्या, ये क्यों कर रहे हैं, you know, they are such smart students and why are they taking the humanities and why are they studying psychology and पागल खाने में काम करना है क्या, you know, all these questions had come up. But today when you look at the scenario, अभी तो admissions नहीं मिल रहे लोगों को. There is a rush and competition for admissions in psychology. तो ऐसे कई और careers हैं जो हाल फिलहाल में बहुत popular हो गए, right? And most of those careers are creative in nature. There are more people who are studying now literature and writing and filmmaking and art and you know, fine arts, photography, etc. तो अभी यहाँ पे वो जो generation gap है हमें starkly नज़र आता है कि parents don't want their child to go into something unknown according to them, but children are going for it and they are very, very hell bent on it, very popular careers. तो ऐसे situation में how do you think the communication in the family be around a subject where the child wants to do something completely offbeat and has decided, but the parents are not very keen?
So I think, in any family, for that matter, for any kind of decision that has to be taken, career being the most important decision, there has to be communication. There has to be discussions. Parents, being parents, doesn't mean that whatever they said becomes the final word. And that's why they need to be open to hearing, listening, what their child is saying, why the child is saying, and how confident the child is. End of the day, you need to trust your child, right? And to do that, you need to go in again, as I'm saying, for something that's more standardized. Today, if I'm a student and if I'm seeing my friends going on for certain careers, I would like to take that.
Right.
Am I fit for that? Can I get into that? That's the first reflection the child needs to do. If it states that yes, you can do it, you have the potential, the parents need to support the child. But somewhere the child needs to convince the parents. Some students think, I want to do it, I'm going to do it, whatever my parents feel. Now, that's also very selfish way of dealing with the situation. You need to communicate to your parents. You need to sit and talk to your parents. Why you want to pursue this? What is your aspiration? What are your goals? What is your dream? What you want to achieve by doing this? I think a healthy discussion will make the parent also feel confident that if the child is talking so much, the child is genuinely interested, right? It's not that everybody is taking, advertising, I'm taking advertising. Do I know what's advertising?
Right.
What do I want to do? What is my plan? What is my future plan? What kind of jobs I'm looking at? Or whether I'm planning to start my own thing. Do I want to become an entrepreneur? What is in child's mind? I think if a discussion happens like that, the parent also gets confident that itna ye soch samajh ke bol raha hai, so there is going to be some kind of, substance to the whole talk.
The student also has to be well researched, well knowledgeable about what's happening. तो 80s 90s में ऐसे सिचुएशन थी कि पेरेंट्स ने बोल दिया कि ये आपको करना है तो करना है. अगर पेरेंट्स लॉयर्स है तो बच्चे भी लॉयर बनेंगे, डॉक्टर्स है तो बच्चे भी डॉक्टर्स बनेंगे. एंड दैट टाइम स्टूडेंट्स आर नॉट गिवन एन ऑप्शन. So you have to work hard, you have to study hard, and you have to crack that exam, whatever it is. And if you don't, then the consequences are severe. Do you see a change in today's scenario in this particular realm?
So to be very honest, I have seen the change in some parts of our country. I would say urban cities. When I kind of stay in Mumbai and I represent Mumbai, I think that yes, in Mumbai there are parents who are becoming more open to their kids' needs, their passion, their choices. But there are still places in India, rural India, who still believe the same, that you have to do what I tell you and you have no say. So I think it's the transformation that needs to come in gradually to all over India. People need to understand and empathize with student community all over India, I think. And that would of course take a little more time, but it'll change. What was there 10 years back, 20 years back, the scenario has changed. So there is still scope of improvement, and things would change in our country also.
So इस change से फ़र्क क्या पड़ा है? मतलब are students today, are they happier? Are they feeling that they are fulfilling their calling, their purpose? Is that happening, which maybe prior to this it was not happening?
Yes, yes. So I again put my career guidance important, that if the decision of choosing a career is based on right parameters, then there is success, there is satisfaction, and there is happiness. But due to some or the other reasons, if the career decision is not perfect, you get into a career which is not as per what we've discussed, then I think thoda satisfaction of course कम होगा, happiness नहीं रहेगा, frustration रहेगा, there will always be that irritation, because when you're passionate about something, you don't get bored. You can work for hours, but when you're not passionate, when you're forced to do certain things, there time comes where you get angry, frustrated, agitated, irritated. So I think that would come in only if you don't decide a right career, I feel.
So basically your entire mental health, your peace of mind
Is based on
is absolutely based on this. But do you see a change where जहाँ पे students को सच्ची में, even after they've gotten guidance or more awareness, more knowledge, that they are pursuing things that they like or they want to do, and parents are also now supportive. Do you see a change in that scenario today?
Yes, I feel that once you are sure of what you're doing, once you're sure of what you've taken up based on your kind of inputs, then the chances of you getting frustrated would be lesser. But what I understand is that when we're looking at mental health at a larger scale, it's also environment that plays a factor, right? I'm working, I have taken up a career which I wanted to, I've studied well, and I'm passionate, and I'm putting my 100%. But there's environment which also plays a role. There are people around who will try to pull you down. There are people around who will play games with you, who will play politics, who will kind of push you down and, kind of make you go through things which you don't want to. There is a lot of pressure, there's a lot of competition, which was not there previous years. So there are factors have changed. So your mental health doesn't only end at choosing a right career and getting a right job. Your mental health is a journey. You need to be emotionally stable. You need to be calm. You need to be composed. You need to work on yourself on a daily basis, because the environment is going to remain the same. So if you don't take care of yourself, or if you don't take care of your mental health, then you will get bogged down with people around. Maybe you are perfect, but people are going to bring you down someday. So if you don't have that skills, or that life skills, I would say, to cope with these problems, then you will kind of have issues with mental health also.
So is that why every time or every week, every month at least, minimum, we see in the news that a student has either died by suicide or has attempted suicide? Is that the reason why, that they have not learned the necessary life skills to deal with these changes?
So here again, there are two factors, I feel. One is, of course, kids need to learn the coping skills, coping mechanisms, life skills to handle pressure, to handle that stress, to handle that politics, The second is, I'm coming back to the same thing, that in some parts of our country, rural area of our country, where still kids are not independently taking decisions. So when they're forced by their parent to go to a IIT integrated coaching, or NEET coaching, they themselves are not prepared, not even mentally, not even academically. They are not that, don't have the potential to get into these professions, but they are forced. So when you're forced and you try, and when you can't get success, you feel demotivated, you feel dejected, you feel humiliated, you feel pressurized, and then you take steps like this, where you either attempt suicide, or some kids even die because of that, so they commit suicide. So that would happen, I feel. So it's important that even if they're going to professional courses like this, are they capable? Are they professionally, will they be able to pursue it? Because this myth again, that if I'm not getting into IIT or NEET, I'm not capable. Now that's, some kids have that potential or that skill set, or maybe they are into a different kind of intelligence, but the ones who are not are still successful.
Yeah.
They are CEOs of the company,
Yes,
they are
absolutely.
successful entrepreneurs. Maybe they are not IIT, they're not doctors, they're not CA. Maybe they've just done their graduation, but they're successful. There are startups run by so many people who are just probably finished their basic education, but they're successful. So this myth of success and these professional courses, there is no relation, I feel. You can be successful in whatever you pursue with your passion, with your dedication and hard work.
तो बेसिकली इतना स्ट्रेस और प्रेशर स्टूडेंट्स को नहीं लेना चाहिए टू गेट इनटू समथिंग दैट इज प्रॉब्ली बियॉन्ड देयर कॉलिंग
Beyond that.
एंड देयर पर्पस.
Process, yeah. आई थिंक वही प्रोफेशन चूज करना चाहिए जिसमें मेरा स्किल सेट है, जिसमें मेरा पोटेंशियल है, एज एम से. कई बार मैंने देखा है कि कुछ बच्चे दे आर वेरी गुड एट कंप्यूटर्स, एज यू वर ऑल्सो से. दे कैन रियली बी वेरी गुड ऑन कंप्यूटर्स. उनका जो नेटवर्किंग, प्लेइंग गेम्स, designing softwares, they are excellent.
Right.
Of course, they can get into so many other profession related to computers, ethical hackers, they can get into game development, they can get into web development. So there are many professions. Engineering is not the only thing. But this myth that if I'm good at computer, I can be computer engineer. Absolutely not. There are so many careers which are related to computers. Like same goes for medicine. I have got kids who appear for NEET, first attempt, second attempt, they're trying, but they're not able to. So I tell them that there are so many other options available. There's paramedical fields, there is alternative medicine. Explore the other options. MBBS is not the only option. You can become a physiotherapist, you can become a speech therapist, occupational therapist, radiologist, and the list is endless, So there are professions. It's just that mindset. I think you need to open your mindset, look at the avenues, and then start your journey.
And there is no guarantee that even after you do your MBBS, ND, that you will be necessarily happy. There are people who are doctors, very well established, but they're still struggling with their mental health. They don't feel, and commonly, I'll quote some of the people who have come to me that this is not what is my calling. Right? ये तो अगले हाँ, done it. So what would you say about people who are already in a profession? Abhi they are 30, 40, 50 years old, right? They've already spent and acquired that skill set that is required. So now they're proficient. But they're not feeling that they are in the right job or, right path. What would you say for, or what would you advise people who are going through this?
Listen to yourself. I think the self-reflection journey has to start as a student. As a student, I need to understand what are my strengths, what are my limitations, who am I, what I want to do in my life. And from there, the journey needs to continue. As you said, I have also met people at the age of 40, 50. I ask them, and I start with a conversation, tell me your 5 strengths.
Yeah.
And they fumble.
Yeah.
How can I talk about myself? How can I say what I'm good at? That's the first thing. You need to know yourself the best. You may not know your friends or relatives, that's okay, but not knowing yourself is the most damaging, right? So you need to analyze who you are as a person, what journey you want to take, where you're planning to reach, and remove all inhibitions and pursue that journey, I feel. That's extremely important.
But let's say...
And one more thing, as you said, for mental health issues at 40, 50, I'm coming back to the life skills, Education system should have life skills as a mandatory subject. I need to teach a child what is life skill, how I need to handle pressure, how I need to manage my time, how I need to express, how I need to have my emotions, how I need to understand my emotions. If I'm getting angry, what I need to do. If I'm feeling guilty, how can I manage that? If I'm having a grief, You know, if I'm going through a trauma, how can I handle that? These are basic skills which we should teach. I think then mental health will not be such a big problem in our country.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And definitely not in career. Also, sometimes acceptance is also important. Not everybody gets the career of their choice. Not everybody goes through a standardized process. But that acceptance also requires a certain level of reflection and self care and self work. And then to understand that, okay, you know what, even if I'm not feeling it, just because I can be good at it, because I can improve my skill sets, I can start feeling good about my job and my career. क्योंकि आप जिसमें अच्छा काम करते हो वो थोड़ी देर में अच्छा लगने भी लगता है, मे बी नॉट पैशनेटली एंड यू नो दैट विद दैट मच डिटर्मिनेशन, बट वो अच्छा एटलीस्ट लगने लगता है.
Like I'll tell you one test that we do for personality, which checks a lot of parameters, 16 parameters of your personality. One of the factor is adaptability. Can you adapt to a new situation? Now you are here. What to do? Like the way we were in COVID. We were at home. We are at home. Now what to do? We have to find alternative solutions to work. I can't say that I'm sitting at home and I have nothing to do. What do I do? Right? So even if you're pushed into a job which you're not liking it, are you really going to disturb your mental peace? Or are you going to find alternative solution to enjoy that job or take up something else that you wanted to? I've seen people who are working but they still take up work related to NGOs. They go to NGOs, they help people, they do something that they enjoy, they cultivate their hobbies. They find an alternative path for their happiness. So sometimes if it's impossible to move profession or career, which is difficult at the age of 40, 50, find alternative way to bring peace to your mind. You need to be peaceful and happy at the end of the day. And you need to find that. If I tell you, why don't you start guitar classes, you are not going to be happy in doing that, right? But if I know that I enjoy music and if I pursue this, I'm going to get that peace. Pursue that. So finding your peace, finding your happiness is your job. Of course, there can be people who can help you. There are psychologists who help you, who guide you, who take you to that path, who take you to that journey. But end of the day, you need to start your own reflections, I feel.
Absolutely. So what are the most important life skills according to you to deal with, you know, a frustrating work, job, career choice, career path?
There are many.
Change your job.
There are many. Then as I said, you know, as I started with it, that it's not easy to change jobs in our country. So it's very difficult. If I've studied medicine for 8-10 years, you can't tell me to switch. I have to continue in that. So as I said in the last statement, sometimes it's not easy to change careers. But then what is easy? Easy thing is to find your own alternative to getting happiness. And that's why I feel, you know, the life skills that I was mentioning is, of course, accepting yourself, understanding yourself, self-awareness, understanding the environment around, okay, learning to handle your pressures, stress, coping with your stress. You know, I'm not sure how many people meditate, you know, because people feel meditation kya hai, usse kya hota hai, but you'll understand it when you're going through problems and a psychologist suggests you a meditation. That time you'll really realize the importance of meditation, breathing exercises. So that this needs to be taught at the initial stage.
Right.
If I'm taught a subject, right? I'm taught maths. It's helping me throughout. I'm taught coping mechanisms when I'm in standard 8th, 9th or whatever 10th. And I'll know how to cope with my stress. So in my life, jab main mushkilon mein rahungi, when I'm going through that kind of pressure, I go to my class, coping skills, I apply that and I feel a little relaxed.
Right.
So teaching life skills and applying those in day-to-day life has to be taught to children. It can be continued in adulthood and of course throughout. But in our country, what happens? People start doing all this when they reach at a certain age.
Yes.
Spiritual journey begins at 40, 50, 60.
Yes.
But spiritual journey can begin at 20 also, 18 also, 15 also. Spiritual journey is not related to God. It's your own journey.
Yes,
Finding yourself, finding your peace. That's a journey which you need to start. And it can be as early as you can, as early as you get mature. I think you can start that journey.
तो एक हो गया एजुकेशनल सिस्टम में ही ये इंट्रोड्यूस करना, जो एक्चुअली था इवन इन द गुरुकुल डेज, बैक इन द गुरुकुल डेज, this was a part of, you know, meditation, then getting in touch with yourself, tapasya karna, all of that used to be about it, which pretty honest got lost over the years. तो एक है educational institution में ये introduce करना और दूसरा है घर में ये introduce करना. So what would you say to parents to start inculcating these essential life skills in dealing with stress and reducing frustration or chances of mental health conditions in the future?
See, what I've understood, in fact, पहले जब looking back at 80s, 90s, parents, we had 3-4 brother sisters. तो थोड़ा divert हो जाते थे parents, सबको attention देते थे. Unluckily, now they have one kid, only child, single child. Pura attention is on that child.
Yes.
Okay? So, you're like sometimes helicopter parent, constantly giving focus to the child. Somewhere that's damaging. तो लाइफ स्किल सिखाना तो दूर की बात है, आप उसका इंडिपेंडेंस भी ले रहे हो. यू नो, यू आर नॉट मेकिंग द चाइल्ड इंडिपेंडेंट. द चाइल्ड इज कम्प्लीटली डिपेंडेंट ऑन यू फॉर ईच एंड एवरीथिंग.
Right.
So I think parent needs to understand that even if it's one child or 2 kids or 3 kids, you have to teach them to be independent. You have to teach them to be confident. You have to teach them to take their own decisions. हमारे पेरेंट्स ऐसा बोलते थे कि अगर आप चलोगे नहीं तो गिरोगे नहीं तो सीखोगे कैसे.
Correct.
Right? You have to fall to learn walking.
Right.
This doesn't happen nowadays. We are protecting our children so much कि गिरने ही नहीं चाहिए. लग जाएगी, you know. But that's damaging. So parents need to give that kind of space for the child to grow independently. At the same time, start teaching the children about, you know, simple thing of sitting in meditation for some time, learning to do breathing exercises to calm themselves. When they get angry, how to handle that anger. I'm again stating anger is natural emotion. You cannot curb it. If you curb it, it's a volcanic eruption that may happen. But you should know how to manage it, how to handle it. This is what the parents can teach the child when they are in the family. When the child is behaving in a certain way, making the child understand what is the right approach, how to handle the situation, making the child understand about the consequences. And again, communication is the key. I tell so many parents at the night, पूरा दिन टाइम नहीं मिलता है, कोई बात नहीं. रात के 20 मिनट, 30 minutes, sit together and talk. Dinner time or at least sit together and have a conversation. How was your day? इसमें भी पेरेंट्स क्या करते हैं, आपका दिन क्या किया आपने, क्या किया, होमवर्क मिला टीचर. That's not conversation, that's an interview. I will also not answer. It has to be a conversation.
Interrogation.
It has to be a conversation, like the way we are having. You tell me certain things, I tell you certain things. I'll enjoy the process. If you keep asking me, I'll not answer. So it has to be a communication where quality time is spent. People are talking about each other's day. The child learns that this is a way to express, this is a way to share, this is a way to, you know, tell my parents what I'm going through.
Yeah.
The bond is much, much better.
And there will not be any judgment.
Yeah.
कि
That's
मैं अगर कुछ बोलूँगा या बोलूँगी अपने
will
पेरेंट्स को,
parents
how will they?
yes.
तो ये तो बचपन से हो गया. नाउ अनफॉर्चुनेटली काफ़ी सारे केसेस, क्योंकि करियर रिलेटेड सवाल जवाब चल रहे हैं, ये बहुत लेट एट द एज ऑफ 13, 14, 15 आ जाते हैं, वेयर पेरेंट्स कम टू द साइकोलॉजिस्ट आफ्टर ट्राइंग ऑल मेथड्स एट होम कि अब माई चाइल्ड इज़ गेटिंग डिस्ट्रैक्टेड. इंस्टाग्राम पे मैसेजेस आना शुरू हो गए हैं लड़कों के, लड़कियों के, एंड वी आर वरिड about drug use, substance use, etc. Because now they have not done this exercise. They have not themselves learned life skills. They haven't equipped their child. Ab jaake now they want to learn it right now, and they want to do a crash course, right? So ऐसे parents के लिए आप क्या advice देना चाहोगे? How to deal with a situation like this where your child is now at a very important stage of their life where they're choosing a career, they're making a big life choice, but they're distracted. So
Again, I think communication. There is no day to start. You know, it's always.
so any time is fine.
Any time is fine. It's never too late to
Dera
start a
durust hai.
conversation. You can always start a conversation. And, you know, especially with teenagers, what I keep telling my parents, many believe in this kind of philosophy, many do not, that your child has to be your friend. You can't dictate and dominate terms with this generation. The more you are autocratic, the more rebellious they become. I'm not saying listen to whatever they say and agree to whatever they say, but you need to have that kind of discussion where they accept what you are saying, okay, but at the same time they're not going against you, they're not rebellious, and they'll say ab to main karungi.
Right.
You know, I know a child who used to come to me, and when two autocratic parents, and the child said ab to main dikha ke rahunga mere parents ko ki drug abuse hota kya hai. You know, because you are not there to have a very healthy conversation with your child. You are bombarding your child with that you're doing this, you're not good, you're not worth, you're nagging. So there is no healthy conversation. The child has got fed up, and the child is like, do whatever you want. I'm going to do what I'm going to.
Dheet bande hain.
So that's also very dangerous, I feel. So,
It is. Definitely. I mean, so communication definitely is the key. Teaching your children certain life skills is the key. You learning and role modeling,
yes.
that is the key. And very interesting, you said that it's never too late to start communicating. लेकिन काफ़ी barriers बन जाते हैं तब तक कि अब मैं suddenly like fathers usually ask, अब मैं suddenly अपनी बेटी से कैसे पूछूं
कैसे बात
कि तुम्हें कोई लड़का पसंद है तो are you getting distracted by chatting with this boy? अब suddenly तो माँ को बीच में लाओ, माँ बोलती है अरे मैं बुरी बन जाऊंगी in this dynamic. So
but see, that's what I'm saying. It's not necessary to become submissive. Extremes हो जाता है, you know, sometimes I feel parents behaving in extremes. या तो एकदम aggressive, you know, nagging and bothering the child, या एकदम submissive. You do what you want to do.
right.
So there are different parenting styles. There are workshops conducted to teach parents different parenting styles and what is the best or appropriate way to handle. Assertiveness is a must. This is the rule of the house. This is the rule of the house. You need to come at 8. You need to come at 8.
Correct.
Before that, you can of course meet your friends. But if there are no rules, no regulations, no guidelines, then I am a free bird.
Absolutely.
You know, then I'm definitely going to get tempted with this environment. So parents need to understand what is a balance. Yeah. And you can convey the same thing to a child in very different ways. You've done something wrong as a child, but how I convey to you as a parent is extremely important. If I'm keeping my balance, if I'm keeping my composure and talking to you, okay, assertively, the child is going to listen. But either fluctuations, very submissive, beta bolo, yeah, what did you do?
Yeah,
Both extremes
then
are
the reaction is going to be that.
both the extremes are not acceptable, I think.
Tejal, you have a daughter.
Yeah.
How do you deal with situations, if at all they arise, you know, where there might be certain things that, you know, maybe she wants to do with her career and her life, and how do you communicate with your child?
Okay. So, you know, I'm lucky that I got into this profession. So, I've been taught to handle things in a certain way.
Yeah.
And luckily, I have implemented whatever I've learned. So, as a parent, I've always tried to keep a lot of factors in mind when I was bringing up my daughter. You know, one very important thing which I convey to parents is bringing up a child is like bringing up a plant. You know, you have to be extra careful, but you have to give the right amount of food, right amount of water, right amount of sunlight. So that is required. And then you will see your plant growing. So I have done exactly the same. I have tried to keep all these factors in mind when I was, you know, bringing her up. That I have to be balanced as a parent, not extreme, but at the same time, I cannot be very vulnerable and give in to whatever she says because I have a single daughter. And so I have kept that in mind. And to be honest, before I had my daughter, I had discussed these things with my husband as to what kind of child or what kind of upbringing we would like to have.
Okay, well, that's very interesting.
What kind of values we would like to have in our daughter. What kind of skill set we would like to teach her. So this was planned before we got her. So, you know, there are certain traits like I see because I have tried, so I see in her. She's confident, she's independent, she's a very, very good decision maker. And because she's a good decision maker, sometimes she sounds to be too strong that I want this, so I want this. And these are the reasons. So I have to accept that.
Yeah,
I have to accept
because she makes sense.
yeah. So, you know, she has a reason. So, I can't say that you cannot do it. So, yes, I have kept certain things in mind and I've tried and I'm still trying to be, you know, the best kind of mother I can be. Now, you have to ask her, what is her rating for me? But my daughter is an angel. She's a beautiful child, beautiful soul I've got in my life. So that's why I'm even more luckier in handling her.
I'm sure, yeah. And I'm sure that, because you have learned these skills somewhere while she was growing up, she's grown around,
Yes.
this kind of a behavior. So she's role modeled you.
Yes,
and
picked up maybe few traits.
picked up a lot of things. Yeah.
Definitely. That's also something that parents need to understand, that we are role models. And they pick up each and everything, from the age of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They are taking everything that you're doing. So if a parent comes and tells me, I smoke and I drink, but I don't want my child, please send to. There is opportunity for the child. Or, even other behavioral issues. You can see the parent behaving in a certain way. Kids pick that up. So if you don't want in a child, you have to be extra careful in how you behave in front of your child.
Right. Absolutely. So, of course, parenting then becomes a huge part. तो हम जब करियर के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं तो ये एक्चुअली 8-9 से नहीं, शायद
पहले से
बहुत पहले से शुरू होता है.
Awareness, though, of course, I think it has to start from the time the child gets a little more sensible and mature to understand. Decision can be at crossroads, that's 10th and 12th.
Right.
But the journey of, understanding what they want, how they want, can be from beginning, I think.
Communication hai with parents, then decisiveness, right? Like you said, your daughter is very good at decision making, but that she's learned since her childhood, maybe infancy, right? So now her decisions are clear, so you don't have a problem with communication. So ये तो बहुत journey actually बहुत पहले से शुरू थी.
And as I told you, I have to plan it before she was born. So उससे भी पहले. But I remember attending a workshop, and we had done that kind of planning, and so it was a beautiful thing. But yes, need to plan. You're bringing somebody to your life, so you need to be prepared as to what you're getting into.
So Tejal, one of the most interesting things I really found out about you is that you consult child artists for reality shows. So what is that like? Can you give us an idea?
So this reality shows nowadays have come for children, which is dance shows or music shows. So kids come from all over India, to participate, and they are here for a amount of time, certain amount of time. So we help them. I am a psychologist for a few shows and a few production houses, where I meet them, on regular. That's once in a week basis. I meet all the children, and I help them with their emotional well-being, because it's first of all, they're kids.
Yeah.
And they are participating for a reality show. So there is a lot of pressure. There's a lot of stress, physical stress also involved. And, the whole concept of success, failure, they're not doing well, and the kind of comments they get, or if they do very well, and the kind of feedback they get, not only from judges, but the people around, when they kind of travel from one place to other, people know them, so they start kind of calling them out and take their autographs. So this whole thing has to be handled by them, because they are from probably a background where they've not seen all this, and they're kids. So too much of attention, all this. So I think it's a wonderful concept. When I was called in for a reality show, I was also quite happy that they're so concerned, and they really care for children, because it's not that they're performing, but at the same time, they're performing with keeping their emotional well-being in mind. So that's what I cater to.
So what are the most challenging aspects while you're, working with these children? What are the most, serious struggles that you see? One is, of course, dealing with their attention and popularity and suddenly, becoming famous overnight, right? Or even trolled overnight. लेकिन और कोई struggles है जो आप देखते हैं?
See, they are not the ones who are from urban cities. They're still okay, but there are many who come from rural background. So for them, seeing this kind of arrangement, seeing so much of limelight, and seeing different kind of people, everything becomes a little challenging, I feel. Even, putting in those many hours. I've seen kids rehearsing for 12, 15, 16 hours also in a day, which becomes a little challenging for them. you know. At the same time, you know, they get comments, like, of course, they are on the stage, on television. So the choreographers are going to give them feedback, you know, and they're going to tell them do this way, and constant feedback is given. So how they cope with that? Because they're not used to, they're used to playing and going to school. So they are in an atmosphere which demands a lot of commitment. There's a lot of dedication requires working for so many hours. So all that needs to be, you know, explained to them. At the same time, they need a little creative space of expression. So I generally use art therapy with children, where they kind of, you know, express themselves in very different and unique ways. And because with children, I feel it's not very easy that I ask you a question, you tell me. It never happens. Right. Children need to be given a platform where they can be, they feel they are not judged, you know, they are given a little creative space, then they express wonderfully. So they get that kind of space with me. They express their, you know, emotions, their feelings through the art form. And of course, if they're comfortable, they also discuss about the stress they're going through, or some kind of pressure, or some kind of, you know, inhibitions. Sometimes they are not very comfortable with displaying certain things or performing certain things. So they even talk about that I'm not comfortable. So how do I manage this? Also, nowadays, because of so much of awareness, you know, abuse is also, that's important to be taken care of. If the child is abused at any of the fronts, you know, the child has to talk it out to somebody. So they also get a platform where they can talk about, if in case if they've been, you know, not handled in an appropriate way. And as we take good touch, bad touch in school, I think somewhere I also talk to them about these things, you know, that what is appropriate, what is not appropriate, what is something that you can accept, what is something that you cannot accept, anybody touching or, huh? I think we got distracted, sorry.
No, certainly. That's absolutely fine. No, but this is a serious issue, and I was going to ask you that, is it? But I get it. I mean,
Yeah. So there are nowadays, there are a lot of production houses who also conduct workshops for people who are working, and make them also understand about, now it's a legal aspect that comes in when you are involved in any kind of abuse. So that's one way. But even kids, they need to be made to be aware that the way we do it with school children, that this is not acceptable. You know, there are certain things that you should not take it. There are certain things where you need to raise your voice and say it. I'm not liking it. You cannot touch me inappropriately. But all this has to be done constantly with them. And the most important, they feel that this is a safe space. You know, I can go and talk to her about anything and everything under the sun, and she will listen to me unbiased, non-judgmental. So I think that is something that I try to kind of achieve when I meet them.
that's really wonderful. What are their? What is the response to failure? Because I mean, we see a lot of influencers. We are flooded with influencers, or you know, there is absolute craziness going on all over the globe. This is, but it's good. It's good for people to showcase their talent and showcase who they are, and maybe get a chance on a huge platform somewhere. But do you think it affects the way you deal with success and failure, especially failure?
Yeah. So it's, see, success is also difficult. You know, you cannot deal with easily. Failure is also not very easy, and especially for children. So I think that kind of support and that kind of understanding has to be kind of given to them, as to they need to keep their balance. Okay, even if they win, even if they lose, it's not going to impact their potential. They are talented dancers. They've come to this platform that indicates that they have that kind of capabilities. So winning and losing is just a part of the game. So that kind of talking also has to be done, where they get used to if they don't do well, and they get used to if they don't do very well also.
Very well.
If they become a winners also, they should be like, okay, grounded. So that has to be, I think, constantly done in the sessions that we cater to. So especially when they realized, especially for the ones which I've done, they realized there are 3-4 shortlisted ones who are going to win. You know, I conduct, in fact, more sessions with them, because there's going to be only one. and the other are going to lose. So they have to be mentally be prepared that that can happen, and it's okay.
How receptive are children?
Difficult. I would not say kids are very easy to manage, as we all think, but at the same time, they are like sponge.
Right.
You know, they take in whatever you say. Easy to it's easy to explain to them if you have that kind of rapport with them. I always feel with children it's extremely important to have a very, very good rapport. If there is a good rapport, they trust you, they kind of listen to you, and it becomes easy to communicate.
Right.
Otherwise it becomes a little difficult because they are not in a mood to listen to you. So connecting with them, empathizing with them, and building that rapport is extremely important. Then it becomes easy. The journey is very easy because they're just kind of listening and understanding what you're saying, and they even take in. You know, they kind of, you can see that they're absorbing in whatever you're talking. So that's a wonderful thing about children. It's beautiful to work with children. So it's a pleasure always.
Always, always. So, do you see any trend in children who've left the reality show? The show is now over, and then do you get in touch with them, or they get in touch with you? And do you see a trend? What is the trend that they follow? What does the roadmap become like?
So yes, I'm in touch with few of the participants. What I've seen is they pursue the career. You know, they are still into dancing. They're learning more because one good thing is that they understand that it's a journey which they're taking. So there's always a growth, and they keep learning. They come back. Like I remember for when I consistently did 2-3 dance shows, there were 2-3 kids who were a repetition. So they were participating in the kind of dance shows every year. That also would happen. I think you'll have to lost track.
That's okay.
So yeah,
You see that there is a repetition in
repetition. Yeah, and of course some come with an understanding that it's a hobby, and we are just doing it because we like dancing. It's our passion. But end of the day, I want to study. I'm going to go to school. I'm going to attend academics. So there have been kids like that also.
they are sorted.
Sorted.
They know that this is
ये है, but end of the day मुझे पढ़ना है.
win or lose doesn't really.
हाँ, मुझे कुछ बनना है. I'm going to do good job. ऐसा भी है. There are people who have mixed, but there are who are too passionate.
Right.
Who wants to kind of continue.
But do you see a difference between a relaxed attitude and a very, very stressful attitude? Do you see that the chances of probably winning or achieving more success when you're more relaxed and you don't care too much about the consequences, are they more?
Yeah. So, you know, when I have sessions with the kids, I tell them the same thing, that how stress, you know, damages your performance and your thinking.
Yeah.
When you are stressed, when you are nervous, when you are in a lot of pressure I'm talking about, it really affects your brain in a certain way. And then your performance also would be not that, wonderful. But when you're relaxed, when you're balanced, when you're enjoying the performance, you will see the difference in your performance. So that kind of talking is also done, and that kind of, strategies are taught. I teach them a lot of relaxation strategies, and, I tell them, before you go on the stage, you have to do this and then only go to the stage. So all those things are also done for them to understand that it's important to remain calm and relaxed when they perform. And I would say luckily, I have seen most of the kids very balanced, very sorted, and they perform very well on the stage. There are, of course, 2 to 5% who get nervous and who also have issues. They get anxiety. Of course, that lot is also there. So you have to find out if the child is more vulnerable and would get, affected by the whole thing. Then I think you need to have more sessions. You need to help this child a little bit more than others.
I'm sure it helps them even after the reality show is over.
Yeah.
Of course, sab tak ke, all these topics that we covered, especially related to career and, you working with children as well, you working with families, so many families. It was really very helpful, very insightful. I'm sure our audience, whoever is watching this podcast, would gain a lot from this. Now, my next question to you is, of course, there's been a lot of change in the career choices and career counseling in India. People are more aware that ऐसे institutes है, centers है, और career counselor भी कोई है जिसके पास हम जा सकते हैं, right? But I'm sure there are many more things that can be done. As you also said कि education level पे ही बच्चों को क्या सिखाना चाहिए, parents को क्या बताना चाहिए, communication कैसा होना चाहिए. So if it was in your power, right, what is that change that you feel is required at a bigger level, maybe at an administrative level, government level, or even the grassroots level, to make this, a part of our psyche in India?
Okay, so first of all, I feel that if I'm given the power,
Yeah.
I feel that it has to be, as I initiated my discussion, that career counseling, first of all, has to be mandatory. Today, also, people take it as a second or a last choice in making a career. So, it has to be compulsory. Now, how it will become compulsory, I feel? If the government introduces it to each and every school, we have teachers, right, to teach education, academics. We need career counselors in each school to guide children for their career. Education is important, right? And that's why we have teachers in school. Why not counselors? Counselors should be mandatory.
Yeah.
A child should have a easy access to reaching out to a school counselor and asking for career guidance. The child doesn't have to go, outside the school or door to look for a career counselor. This facility has to be provided in each and every school.
Yeah.
Secondly, the awareness has to be created where people start understanding what is career counseling and why it is required. I'll just give you an example of the advertisement which we have for Amitabh Bachchan on polio eradication. Wow, wonderful. Today we have no cases of polio, right? Why that has happened? Because the initiative was taken by the government. It became necessary to spread that awareness. I think certain kind of awareness campaigns have to be done where people are reaching out to not only rural, small towns or rural areas, but everywhere in India, where they create the relevance of going for career guidance, career awareness, and the repercussions of not going in for it. Like we come back to the first discussion we had on suicide
Yes.
attempt. Why do we have that? Because somewhere we have not chosen the right career, right? So, at grassroots level, I think we need to really work on creating as much awareness as we can, educate the parents, educate the students, and the last I feel is now technology is amazing, right? Reaching out everywhere is not impossible. So, creating that kind of awareness modules, spreading the links, having more podcasts like this, having such programs where people get an understanding about what career guidance is, what is career counseling, how it is beneficial. So, technology can be used as an important tool to reach out to each and every person in our country.
You're right, actually. You can use technology, but it has to be, again, standardized in some way and done by basically a workforce needs to be created.
I think standardized tools have to be given more importance. As we discussed earlier, that there are so many tools available on internet. People make checklists and download it, but that's not standardized.
True.
There is some authenticity of standardized tools. They are researched. There is reliability, validity. The whole process is done. So using those tools, okay, would be more efficient rather than using any kind of testing tool. So even if reaching out to people, making them understand the relevance of the standardized process of career guidance. And one more important thing which I've been noticing in my career is there are many people who do career counseling, even if they are from psychology background, they're not from psychology background. They just get into this profession, learn a little bit and start applying it to students. That is also that should not be allowed. You should have proper qualification as the way we have RCA registration. There has to be registration for a career counselor, and only those career counselors should be given an opportunity to do career guidance and career counseling. Because end of the day, you are dealing with a child, you're dealing with the life of a student. So you can't play games there. You can't just, try different approaches and play with a child's career. So it's important that we have training programs probably organized by government, the way we have RCI, where people need to get trained, and only if they get training from them, they get registrations, and the registrations have to be renewed. I think then it becomes more standardized, systematic process. Like even if in India, a psychologist or a career counselor can very easily practice. That's not the same trend abroad.
Yeah.
You need to have license to practice.
Yes.
I think that has to come in our country also. If we are giving importance to mental health, if we are giving importance to career counseling, career guidance, there has to be standardization even in the way professionals are dealing with the whole process. It's not only from this side, even this side, the army has to be prepared. They have to be trained, qualified, and then they can probably reach the people.
So we are talking about a massive change, government initiatives. Government, of course, has their own career counseling portal, but again, it's not very widely known, used. At the same time, licensing bodies have to be established, a workforce has to be created, a lot of work has to be done, but it's not impossible.
It's not impossible, of course. The way we've growing, I think, we've reached a lot, but still there's, of course, a lot of scope for us to work together and come together and I think reach a destination.
I'm sure our audience today has understood the importance of standardized process of career counseling, why it is important, and who to trust and who not to trust when it comes to a major life decision. So thank you so much for sharing your experience, your expertise with our audience, and I'm sure they'll take away a lot from this interview. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Tejal.
Enjoyed talking to you. Pleasure.